INEC chairmo Professor Mahmood Yakubu don't draw ear for all political parties for Edo, say make them obey the rules and regulations where INEC don't put for ground against violence for the ongoing continuous voters registration CVR exercise and the upcoming 2024 governorship election. Our Tory person Oluwatitomi C. Julius for her report here and say the INEC chairmo give this advice for one meeting where them hold with political party leaders for INEC state headquarters Ikwobahi, Benin City. People wait and that for the meeting now INEC officials, security agencies, political party representatives, Tory people, and other stakeholders. Professor Mahmood can't hear the political parties for the work them don't do so far and comes to encourage them, say make them maintain peace for the election processes.
We are in Edo State because of the unfortunate incident that happened on Friday when our office was flooded, and not for the first time. And not because the commission did not take steps to ensure that this kind of incident does not happen again. Those of you who have been involved in politics in Edo State, whether as chairman or leaders of political parties, will recall that the last governorship election held in September 2020 was held or organized by the commission from a rented building on Sapele Road, because this office was flooded. So when this happened, we were shocked. And it happened 2 days before the commencement of the continuous voter registration exercise. None of us in the commission had any decent sleep. So on Saturday, we mobilized resources from the neighboring states to make sure that just like Ondo, where there was no incident, the voter registration in Edo State is not adversely affected. But beyond that, we said we should come to Edo State and see for ourselves, particularly to see what remedial action we need to take with 3 months and 3 weeks before the governorship election. We would like a situation where we operate from our own building rather than relocating to another facility. There's no other facility in Edo State that will give us the convenience that we have in our own facility. So thank God the water level has receded, and I also heard that the leaders of parties will continue to pray and engage the rainmakers so that it doesn't rain again, so we can use this facility for the election. So that is basically why we are here. But upon arrival, I also had a few complaints and read a few stories. To begin with, I want to tell you as leaders of parties that we follow everything that happens in Edo State in terms of our level of preparation and in terms of what is happening within and among political parties. We follow these events. I want to remind you that this commission in particular has had a long-standing experience in handling governorship elections in Edo State. This is going to be our 3rd governorship election. I was here in 2016, ahead of the 2016 governorship election. I was here nearly 4 years ago in 2020, ahead of the last governorship election. And I'm here again, ahead of the forthcoming governorship election. However, I must commend political parties so far that the build-up to the 2024 governorship election in Edo State has so far been the most peaceful. I know what we went through in 2016, but the election had to be postponed. We spent several days here, even had a commission meeting here in Edo and announced a new date for the election. And I also know what happened, as you know, in 2014. It was as if the world was coming to an end in Edo State. But you will also agree with me that in the aftermath of the governorship elections, citizens of Nigeria and Edo State started dancing on the streets over the professional manner the election was conducted. INEC has no candidate in this election. We are not a political party. And the last two elections were actually won by two different political parties. So the next election may actually be won by one of you sitting there. And 4 years, after 4 years, after another 4 years have passed as if it was just 4 days that passed. So we thought that we should speak to leaders of political parties. And in speaking to you, I thought that we should invite all members of ICSES. And membership of ICSES cuts across security, intelligence, law enforcement, emergency services. And that's why we have the Commissioner of Police, the Brigade Commander, the Director of DSS, and then we have others who are representing the other services, from immigration to road safety to the Federal Fire Service, as well as the emergency services, and the ICPC, in case some of you intend to use money to buy voters on election day. The ICPC is here, and the EFCC is also going to join. So we have done it before, and let's continue to keep the peace and do it peacefully. I must tell you that I'm really encouraged by the atmosphere so far. I have been saying so far. The ban on campaign was lifted on the 15th? 24th of April. And we are now going into June. And so far, so good. But let us maintain the peace. But we have started seeing some snipers. We're not happy with the report we had from Idea College in Oredo Ward 4. We heard about the report. We are also not happy about the complaints we had from Owen West. We are aware of that. We have also received the complaints made by one of the political parties about a security network. And yesterday we had a meeting with all the security agencies, closed-door meeting in the office of the Commissioner of Police. And the Commissioner of Police has assured us that he has spoken to the leadership of that security network and will continue to speak to them. The responsibility for election security, just like internal security, rests entirely with the Nigerian police. They are the lead agency in internal security. But where need be, the police will call on support from other security agencies. That is why they are all working in synergy. So there is no difference between one security agency and another. We are all working towards a secure environment for elections to hold in Edo State. Only the people of Edo can determine who becomes their next governor. And we'll make sure that their choices are protected. The choices of the people of Edo State are protected. So I know that some of you may ask questions and seek clarifications, but I want us, in the spirit of peace and peaceful conduct of the election, to, even when we make our comments, keep the peace. We are aware of everything happening in some political parties. And there is one party that introduced itself twice. But whatever the case, please, at this meeting, let's maintain the peace. The question of party leadership is a matter for the political party, but it's also a matter for INEC at the national level, at the regulator and registrar of political parties. So let us not ventilate these grievances at this meeting. There is another level where these matters will be sorted out. So I want to assure and reassure you that we are aware of what is happening in Edo State. Secondly, we have commenced the continuous voter registration exercise. We have really demonstrated resilience by ensuring that we call on facilities from the neighboring states to start the voter registration. Yesterday, I visited a number of the registration centers, I think in Oredo and Ipobo. So we'll continue to monitor, but we'd also like to hear from you any advice, any suggestions on how this process can be improved upon. But beyond voter registration, there is something that we've said in my meeting with political parties at the national level, and I want to appeal to leaders of political parties in Edo State. Please, just as you are mobilizing your supporters to register, mobilize your supporters to collect their PVCs. We have literally over 200,000 uncollected PVCs in Edo State. These are for persons that have already registered. What is standing between them and voting is just to pick up the PVCs. So please mobilize them so that they can go and pick up the PVCs. I don't know what the ultimate figure will be during the ongoing continuous voter registration in Edo State. But if you are lucky, you will get 50% of the uncollected cards. So the real challenge is for people that have already registered to collect their cards and vote. So I want to thank you so much. And I want to again express my appreciation to leaders of political parties. There can be democracy, there can be election without political parties, for two reasons. The Constitution of Nigeria says that for anybody to stand for election, he or she must belong to and sponsored by a political party. So there is no way you can conduct elections without the political party. Secondly, INEC ultimately conducts the secondary election. Political parties conducted the primary election. So there must be primary as a foundation before you go to the secondary. After all, it was from the primaries we conducted that we got the names of candidates that we published. So we play a very important role in sustaining our democracy. I won't be tired of advising political parties and candidates to please obey the rules of the game. Violence doesn't pay anybody anywhere. And in this day and age, there is no way you can take advantage of the electoral process through violence. And we have demonstrated it before. 2016, yes, there was tension toward the election. 2020, there was tension, but the elections were conducted peacefully. It appears to me that political parties in Edo State have taken a notch higher, that the build-up to 2024 will be peaceful, the conduct of the election will be peaceful, and the conclusion of the election will be peaceful.
Commissioner of Police Fusion Adegboyewe talk on behalf of all security agencies and say them ready gidigba to exercise their duties.
I want to say it again. Like I said before, and I'm happy that the big man is here. We have an enabling and level playing ground for all political parties to operate. And I think I'm speaking on behalf of all security agencies. Some of you said it out, that we have been planted here. I don't know by who and for what. And I want to say it again, nobody has planted anybody to do something or to do anything that is against the law. Please make our job very easy. I'm talking to the political party leaders. Make our job very easy. I told you, I have policed elections in countries that they are not up to this country. Somalia, Liberia, Ghana, East Timor. I don't want to compare Nigeria with European countries. And some of these countries we have been to, they are just coming out of war. Imagine Somalia, 21 years, no government, the same thing in Liberia. And when we policed the elections, we were witnessing a kind of jamboree. But when we come back to Nigeria, we have to start fasting and prayer. It's uncalled for. Please, play the games according to the rules. The INEC, that is the umpire, they have set the rules. All of us know it. There is no need for police officers to be carrying guns on election day. I feel bad each time that we do that. But we have to do it. how and which we can do without us during the campaign, during the election, and after the elections. Please assist us. Nigeria is a great country. We can make it greater. And it is me and you, whatever we do during the elections. My people have been calling me, Funshoro will save you, Edo, and I keep on wondering why. I've told you countries that I've gone to. So I feel bad each time people are telling me, Edo, and I said, no problem in Edo. So please make it problem-free for us. We are ready to do our work conscientiously without any bias. Please, we are reiterating this, and I'm speaking the mind of all security agencies. Please, whatever you have, make it open. Let us know.
For the meeting, the constituent want a tough session with political party leaders and Tory people, wey also chook mouth on the CVR exercise and the processes where they involved for the September 21 election.
My question is, you did mention that we have a reasonable number of PVC not collected. And I want to ask, for example, when people don't have interest in the system, it is difficult for them to go ahead and put their hard-earned money or time to be part of the process. The last general election, though not official, it was adjudged by the vast majority of Nigerians that they did not have confidence in the umpire of what happened in that election. And there are insinuations across the state that that insinuation has not been corrected. What do we have in Edo State right now? Are we going to use Edo as a means of correcting that insinuation across the country, that INEC is indeed an independent body, that they are going to give us a level playground, not many whose cause is trouble?
As a party, we suggest, I will recommend to INEC for consideration that because we lost 3 days, we're asking for an extension of the registration exercise in Edo State. The reason is that we will not want our people that want to register not to be registered. We went round to some of the registration centers in Benin City, and I'm sure you saw the crowd, and you saw the household and the household around this. So we are suggesting, and hoping that we consider this suggestion, that we extend the registration time with how many days that is convenient for you that you can handle in terms of the finances that you require. Secondly, sir, what happened at Legal College has to have consequences, and this is what the original place. People cannot go to the registration centers and be shooting guns, and nobody is being dealt with. It's unheard of. It's in the center of the city. This is what happens. The broken glass theory. The glass will start cracking, they don't deal with it, it will get bigger. If you don't get those people that shot those guns on that day in Legal College, more guns will be shot in other centers. And you don't need a soothsayer to tell you where that is coming from. Many people do not want Edo people to register. And I don't know why a political party would not want people to be registered. So, Mr. Commissioner of Police, please, we trust that you have the wherewithal, you have the knowledge, you have the capacity. Reach out those people and use them as an example so that nobody in his widest range will think of going to any place to shoot anybody here in Edo State before, during, and after the elections. That's the only way we will guarantee peace in Edo State.
The places where crises were reported, one is Ureda, the second one is Omaha West. And I also heard people talking about the security network of the government of today, that we are all begging that they should not be part of the elections. We know that that security network is armed, and the only people carrying arms in the state today are the security network. And this crisis happened in Oredo, that is the local government of the governor of the state, and Owen West, where the speaker of the state comes from. And it is only the authority that can call out their dogs when it matters, maybe when they feel they want to use them. To the commissioner of police, there can be unknown soldiers, but there cannot be unknown police or unknown politicians. Those people have to be fished out. If not, if it is allowed to get to the election, we will have problems. Well, one thing I will draw the attention of the commission to is the inflow of people from different states coming to register in the field. And I think that is where the crisis is coming from. Because when you sit down in your village, in your place of where you register, and you see foreign people you don't know coming to register, that can cause apprehension. And when people try to force such things, mostly people in authority, if you call in their security network, you are saying they should not be part of the election to unleash terror and get with people. So you cannot rule out the fact where the crisis in question comes from. Then, thirdly, you know, when the candidates emerge, the candidates are bound to fill the forms, attach all their documents to INEC, and those are made public for people to get. And I want to ask the commission, because we are a political party, we are also checking what other political parties are doing. We have monitored the registration of certain candidates of the party, and we know that we've gotten the certified true copy of what they submitted to INEC already, but we were monitoring to see possibly who will be transferred with registration. I don't know how we'll be able to get those certified true copy of such. So that's one of the questions. But for so far, I think the registration is going on well. And from the number of days that is left, I'm sure the commission will go to achieve.
It's very, very difficult because of the harsh economic condition we find ourselves in the country for us to insist that people from the other area come to the central point to collect their bills. And as he rightly recommended, they should move to closer domain to those persons that are registered so that they can easily pick it up. But I'm worried. That idea is super sweet as far as I'm concerned. But what is my worry? We also during the last dispensation, that's the middle to the 2023 election, in which stack of voters' cards were littered, were thrown away. So we saw them on social media. There were all manner of effort to differentiate some persons from having access to their voters card and being able to cast their vote at the end of the day. So what is my worry? If we make it open that okay, INEC wants to move it to the walls by having to all the polling units so that everybody can have access to it. Will there be commensurate security coverage to ensure that those BBC, when they are on transit, they will know them? That's my worry.
Let me start on the issue of violence. There were accusations and counter accusations on political lines, political party lines, and I don't want to mention names here. We know ourselves. This party did that, especially the shooting. One party alleged the other party. We have our own intelligence, we have concluded investigations, we are aware of the people that did it, and as time goes on, the the report will be made public. But if I mention it here, I think some people will cover their faces in shame. 2, on the issue of the vigilantes, we were to hold a meeting on Tuesday in the office of REC, but because of the flood, the meeting was shifted to my office. We called the Commandant General of the vigilantes. They were warned, not advised. They were warned to abstain from the registration centers, and subsequently, we have not seen them. Please, you all know my numbers. I want to give it again. 070-3737-6464. I'm sure everybody here has my number. Anywhere you see anybody misbehaving, not only this ESS and the vigilantes, anybody who are not supposed to be at the voting, the registration centers, please call me. And I can assure you there will be swift response. If I don't do that, please escalate your complaints.
One issue that I think I should respond to is when you said there should be more interface among political parties. And as the chairman of IPAC, you are spot on. That is why the Commission has supported the establishment of the Inter-Party Advisory Council, so that among yourselves as political parties, you can be interfacing, not necessarily when INEC invites you. And secondly, sometimes, particularly at the national level, when there are matters that we need to convey to the political parties, we don't have all the time to convene a meeting with all the political parties. We'll just interface with the leadership of IPAC, believing that this will be extended to the leaders of political parties across the board and nationwide. So, on this matter, you are actually preaching to the combatant, but the ball is in your court. If political parties are interfacing in this manner, without this adversarial relationship among political parties, many of the issues may not even be escalated to the Commission or to the security agencies. You'll find solution to this. After all, we are serving the same country, relating with the same electorate, and we're in politics, I believe, for the improvement of the welfare of the people. So political parties should play opposition, adversarial politics, but at the same time have a common ground, so that you can be interfacing and removing many areas of potential conflict. Many others, Elizabeth, the chair of the Labour Party, Edo State, asked about the CVR. You suggested that we should decentralize the CVR. And some of you suggested that we should decentralize it to the voting centers. I believe by voting centers, you mean polling units. But I always ask leaders of political parties to be very pragmatic. How many polling units do we have in Edo State? Yeah, there will be a few mongrels and dead silence, because even at the national level, when we ask, some of the party leaders don't even know the number of polling units in Nigeria. So in Edo State, we have 4,519 locations. If we are going to deploy 2 officials per polling unit, we will require 8,038 officials, with the logistics of moving them to those locations and for the duration that some of you have spoken. When INEC submits the bid for the CVR to the National Assembly, we say INEC again, it has come with this multi-billion naira bid. But our country is huge. If we are to do the same nationwide for 176,846 polling units, will require 353,692 personnel on the basis of 2 per polling units. And this number is simply huge. And to maintain this number and remunerate them and transport them for a year, by the time we submit the bill, many people will say, INEC again has come with this big bill. So there is always need for a context in the way we do certain things. The Commission in the last, before the last election, introduced the online pre-registration option. But people have to go and complete the registration physically at the various centers. It's similar to what we do when we apply for visas for some countries. You commence the process online, but you have to be there physically for your biometrics to capture the facial and the fingerprint. For what we do, I believe the Nigerian Immigration Service is also employing the same thing on the issuance of passports. But you have to go and capture the details, the biometric details. But for this one, the CBI, we had to do it to enable as many of the eligible registered voters or eligible Nigerians residing in Edo State to vote, and eligible Nigerians who wish to transfer their registration to Edo State to enable them vote. This is what the law says. Citizens are free to vote in any part of the country, but our law says that to vote, you have to be registered, and you have to go to the polling unit where you are registered in order to vote. Maybe the reform is the time will come when if you have the voter's card, you can vote in any part of the country. But remember, voting in any part of the country may only apply for national elections. Because there are constituency elections. You can't sit in a Bible and vote for a governor in Edo State. It has only got to be open to registered voters in the state. And for you to do so, you have to be a registered voter in that state. So pending certain time when the law is amended, particularly for the national elections, for that to happen, we'll continue to allow for transfer. I would have been more worried, for instance, if I'm told that non-Nigerians are registering in the new state to vote. And this was one of the issues we discussed yesterday at our meeting of excess, and we tasked, as always, the Nigerian Immigration Service on that matter. So if people will transfer from other states to the Edo, to really arrive as citizens to do so. But on the issue of decongesting the centers by creating more centers and developing the registration, I think I've responded to that. With the sheer number and the amount of time that we have between now and the election. Remember, the 2022 electoral act said that all the processes must stop 90 days before the date fixed for the election. We have to stop the process of registration 90 days before that date. But voters' cards can be collected at the discretion of the commission, and it can be collected up to a week before the election. So voters' cards can be collected for the next 3 months, 2 weeks, but not the registration, because we have to finalize the register as required by law. As for the deployment of more machines, particularly to areas of congestion, we have already discussed that matter. And when I visited some of the registration centers yesterday, in Oredo and in Kohoha, we took that decision that we are going to deploy additional machines. As for the action that we need to take to mitigate the perennial occurrence of flooding in our office, we have taken the action that the technical people advised that we should take after the last incident. That is why for the last 3 years getting to 4, we have had no issues with the flooding of this office. But the heavy downpour that occurred on Friday is an act of God. Nobody in the commission would have predicted that there's going to be such a heavy downpour. But very soon you will see action taken by the commission and by the Federal Ministry of Works, particularly with the drainage in front of our office. So we are taking every step to ensure that our processes are not disrupted. And let me seize this opportunity to assure you that, yes, we had an unfortunate incident, but that will not affect our preparations for the conduct of elections in Edo. We will recover and the election will proceed as scheduled. Bishop Akanle, PhD. And Bishop Akalawe, PhD, chairman of the Venice Labour Party. You talked about something that appeared to you simple, but is actually complicated. One, you probably thought you were talking about electronic voting, but you said INEC can develop an app that citizens can vote even from the comfort of their homes. That is not electronic voting. That is internet voting, which is different from electronic voting. But consider this possibility. If you say so, are you going to have a dual mode of voting, where people go to the polling units to vote and others vote from the comfort of their homes. Because you're not thinking about our aged grandmothers in the villages where they have not even seen a computer, let alone to use an app to vote on election day. Or are you going to disenfranchise them for that reason? Secondly, at present, the law does not provide for that. What the law provides is that the election should hold at the polling units, and it describes the processes of voting as well as the collation of results. So until such a law, at such a time when the law is amended, this is going to be the procedure. And I think I've responded to your question on the devolution of collection. Chairman, People's Democratic Party. I think what is important for us in this kind of conversation as citizens of Nigeria is to have a context. Context is very important. I am sure if I ask by show of hands, not many people here will agree that for the first 3 days of the exercise, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, nothing happened in the doorstep. If you say that we were off to a slow start, I agree with you. But you say that nothing happened on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Registration only started on Thursday. I don't think anybody here will believe that to be the case. Was it a perfect start? No. Are there challenges that we need to continue to improve upon? Yes, that's the reality of life. But I think we need to provide that context, because the context helps our conversation. There is no way we can now talk about those issues outside that context. Today is day 5 of day 10 of the registration of voters. And we are seeing the issues emerging from the process, and we will continue to respond to these issues.
Their talk with Tory people, the Commissioner of Police Fusion Adegboye, APC chairmo Jared Tenebe, and PROP chairmo Edo State Dr. Osasere Greg talk say,
you don't join body for this matter since, and the main matter where they carry come out, the real concern your area. How you see today?
Thank you, my brother. We are not surprised. Security, security, security. Like we said, we have been instructed to have a level playing ground, which we don't put on ground. The political party is supposed to play this game according to the rules. If they do that, we don't go get problem now.
Yes.
A party, you said you are 2, the same party, primary here, which one do we go? You can see what happened here today.
Yes.
One party don't say maybe chairman, another one say chairman. If they come my office, I take picture with them. Now my office, they go say take picture with this one.
Yes.
The following day, the other party go come, I take picture, which is normal.
Yes.
These are my visitors for my records. So make they play these games according to the rules. For riverine areas, in Nicaragua is an example. We have been expecting problem. We are super there on ground. We have the marine police, even the military, they don't join us. So now for the time where they say some people they shoot guns, I don't want to talk. Our investigation shows that 2 parties are involved. And these 2 parties go talk. Say then they shoot gun. But anybody where we catch now, you go tell us when they carry gun, go do registration centers. The law is clear. If you carry gun, if somebody's life is in danger, we'll do the needful.
I want to ask you, for the security network, how you see them?
We don't tell the guy. Yes. They're not supposed to come where then they do registration. Yes. And they have they don't abide by that one. Good. My number, you get them. Everybody get them for this state. Anybody who see them when they do that, please make them call me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
See the question where you asked today, and I believe say the INEC chairman don't respond. How your mind can be now?
Well, it did go, but you know respond to the one when I ask, because one thing when I ask, we say Asue Voters, we were monitoring him because the documents when he submit voters card, which was not very clear, but because we know where it's going to register, we monitored him through our agent, and we were thinking that transfer he go do, but a fresh registration now he do. So I was asking how are we going to get certified true copy of that his new card, his new registration that he just did, and the one he submitted to the commission. That are the question when I ask. And I also raised the issue about the security. Already where the issue they raised, where you had the shooting, is the local government of the governor. Another one west, where they also say shooting happened, is the local government of the speaker. And you cannot rule out where that is coming from, because the only people carrying arms in the state now is the special security of the state. So those were the points I raised. That was for the commissioner of police, because you can have unknown soldier, but you cannot have unknown policemen. That's why I said you can have unknown soldier, but you cannot have unknown politician. That's why I'm calling on the CP to ensure that those people that shot are arrested.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
My name is Dr. Sasere Greg Binamaya, and I may be chairman for PROP for Edo State, People's Redemption Party. And I may also be the chairman of Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, a body, umbrella body where they coordinate all the chairmen of parties for Edo State.
Oh yeah, now you don't join body for this meeting where they hold today, and you don't see the outcome of the meeting. How your mind can't declare, or your mind is spark, or your mind is verse for waiting the outcome of this meeting today?
My mind they cooler. This not be the first time where INEC they call us. They hold this kind of meeting. We first hold one before this continuous voters registration start few weeks ago, where they tell us say now so it will be make everybody go about the exercise very peacefully. But as it can't be say during the days when they don't start the registration, we can't hear say people they fight for whether they do the registration. Me as chairman of IPAC, we be say that they supposed to coordinate all party chairmen. I'm not happy because before we start the registration, I go on TV everywhere. They talk say make this election we want to make it day peaceful. We don't have to fight because at the end all of us now one. We they contest, say okay, PDP they contest, APC they contest, PROP they contest, Labour Party they contest to produce the next government for Edo State. Now to better the life of the people. If we want to fight ourselves for the same thing, okay, we say we want to go from government, maybe we better the life of the people. And we can't fight. So you know, say it did not work like that. So we can't hear that one where INEC national chairman can't come in because he won't talk to all party chairmen. Now yesterday night they call me, INEC people say, make I call my people, we will meet here today so that we will see how we do. So we are happy over the discussion. The chairman tell us say make we don't fight, make we ensure say election dey peaceful. That's so far so good. The build up to the election as far as it is concerned is dey peaceful. And now what me see they talk as IPAC chairman for Edo State. Me I want make this election dey peaceful. Make we do things cool, not be the one who will kill ourselves. Because at the end of the day, what will they kill ourselves for? We don't pass that level. We are not barbarians. We are civilized people. If you go civilized world, elections are done peacefully. So now, so me, I want to make it be for Edo State too.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, my brother. No skill.
INEC don't talk say them go bounce back from the challenges where they ground and call promise to organize a successful governorship election where go shele on Saturday, September 21, 2024. Make una not forget say, as we see them, now so we dey talk am. We not dey take blame. From INEC headquarters Benin City, Ekata Ojisili, TMC TV News.